Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. Now, let me make sure real quick. Got the right setup here. Now, want to touch on this here because we've been saying this word a lot, and it's been coming up a lot lately, more because of the guy, Yada Awakening, and what he was doing. Of course, he got called a simp by everybody and they mama, and I'm also called a simp. And it was a couple of, even though our message is very different, and it was a couple of, because I struggle to give my wife $1,000 a week. I want to give her 2,500 a week, but ain't got y'all the money, so I'm gonna have to start selling some of that Mott's apple juice. And I'm gonna tell you like this right here. Some of y'all was in the comments. You bought that Mott's apple juice for $125. When I drop my apple juice, don't argue with me about the price. Cause I'm gonna sell some of that $125 apple juice, and I want you right in the sales. And so I hear this term all the time. It was a guy or somebody, it could have been a man or a woman, who came on my page today and got blocked. Talking about all you simps be doing this and that. I hope you ain't next, Tony. And put a little crying, laughing face. Blocked. Yeah, dummy. Saw you and you blocked. Didn't even respond to you. You blocked. Made it to the video. Hope you're happy. So just enjoy purgatory, being blocked. And so the thing that men are battling with, and this is something that I had to learn over time, because we fight so hard for our ego and for our pride and whatever else you'll call it. Is really just, it comes from insecurity. And it's kind of like one of them things, and I want you to picture like letting a 1 year old or a 2 year old slap you. It's kind of like you are an adult. So them slapping you, it got some sting on it, but you know they really don't know what they doing. You know they don't know what it means. And that's kind of the relation to a man, in the way that we can kill, and the way we can fight, and the way we can do damage to a woman. And that's what you have to learn as a man, what the Bible means when it says the woman is the weaker vessel. And a lot of women are struggling with that out of a demonic place, because the goal of the adversary is to put women against men. And just like right now with the WNBA considering letting transgender men play in the WNBA. And there's kind of like this pride, this sense of pride that tell women, that's telling some of those women that, like, yeah, we could play with men. Yeah, we could play with men. We'll be able to do that. We'll be like, ain't no issue. Like, And when in reality, I haven't played basketball since 11th grade, but it's probably a lot of pro women basketball players that I still could beat today at 42 years old, just because of the difference in the body makeup, the difference in the bone structure, the muscle, the fast twitch fibers, and just things of that nature. And it's no disrespect, it's just a real thing. And this is something that Yada would not tell you, because he pandering to you. And so he'll want you to think and believe that you just as strong as him, and that you could whoop him, because he wants you to buy that Mott's apple juice. But then he showed his wife that she not as strong as him by punching her in the eye. And that right there is what should be considered simping. But because he was lying to get ahead, to get clout, and to make money. But that's not really what simping is to men, basically with these men today, a simp is anybody who doesn't want to hurt a woman. A simp is if you want equal and fair treatment for your woman, if you want to give your woman any type of ease or comfort, joy, peace, happiness, relaxation, you're considered a simp. And the reason why men have created this is to protect a fragile masculinity, a fragile ego. And they want to hold on to and to hold fast to what they would consider is their masculinity. Like they want it to be a situation to where it's like one of those things of if you got your foot on a woman's neck, you're a man. But if your woman getting anything off of you, then you're a simp. But see, for me, I look at it, and I want y'all to go watch that movie, 300 sometimes. And then you see that Leonidas. And I want you to understand that, like, in a relationship, like you take Leonidas and you put him in battle against a woman, one of the queens, and what you think will happen? You see what I mean? And I think that's the mindset that men need to understand is like, God didn't put us here to compete with a woman. And like women say, you can't compete where you don't compare. But these men really want to fight women. Like they really want to fight women. Like they really want to square up with a woman. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but it is the reality of the situation. And that's why they created the term simp. Y'all forgive my son in the group chat. And so that solely, and this is the thing, it's so dangerous for society, it's so destructive, and I really want men to have a mindset shift to stop competing with women, to realize that a woman is supposed to be taken care of, supposed to be catered to. And we got to shift that mindset. And I had to come out that mindset. I was a grown boy. I wanted to compete with women. I know that's why I understand the mindset because I was there. I wanted to do damage. I wanted to cause pain. I wanted to dictate, to dominate, to control. And that's just a weak man. It's because I was a weak man. I was an insecure man. I didn't know what a man was. And I thought that the place of a man is to control a woman. And I never forget when I was sharing online and I was saying, like, I would always say I want to level the playing field and between men and women. And then I heard a man say, very popular, big name man say, I don't want no level playing field. I want an advantage. And ironically, that man has not been able to make a relationship work or a marriage work and has multiple kids, has kids from, different women and haven't been able to figure it out on the love and relationship side. And it's because of his mindset. He sees a woman, even though he was raised by a single mom, he sees a woman as competition. He sees a woman as someone who is out to get him. And the reason why he sees it like that is because on the basis of dating, he's dating out of his league. On the basis of looks, he's dating out of his league. So it automatically, and this is why so many men struggle with this. Like, You can think my wife is beautiful, and I think she's beautiful, but I don't think she's out of my league. Like when I met her, I wasn't looking up to her. I was looking at her. I wasn't looking at like, wow, if I can get her, this will be the best looking woman I've ever had. This will be a dream come true. I didn't look at her like that. So I didn't have to compete against her because I felt like we are a match. We're equals. We deserve each other. What happens is a lot of men want a woman that they are just stricken with lust by. And they want this woman that they just super duper duper lusting after. And from them super duper lusting after this woman, it gets to this place to where they feel like they're they have to compete against a woman, and they want to control the woman. They want to fight the woman. They want to put the woman down. They want her to kiss the ring. And it's because of the dynamic. And if you notice and you look around, you look at the blogs, you look on social media, one of the things you're going to notice is that a lot of men, especially men with notoriety or money or any of that, a lot of men have a woman that they are not looks compatible with. A lot of men have that kind of woman. They're not looks compatible with her. And however the looks may add up, they just not looks compatible. And if somebody got blocked today talking about I'm wrong for what I said about G. Craig Lewis looks. And what you don't realize is when somebody plays with God, I go a little harder in the description because the gloves are off. When you playing with my Lord and Savior and you misleading people and you're not living what you preaching, the gloves are off. At that point, you look like a low down, dirty scoundrel, a low down, dirty scumbag. So whatever name I could come up with for you, I'm gonna levy that name against you because you're playing in my face. And anytime if a man cheat on a woman, if he beat on a woman, and especially if he is played her like a fool, like it was people saying, oh, and the person was talking about, and you said something about Brennan Lee. I'm like, it must be Brennan Lee bad account, cause like I ain't pick on her, I ain't say nothing but bad about her looks. It's like you got to get out your feeling and shut up. Because over here, the truth gonna go forward. You can't be real and be soft. It just ain't the way it works. Like you can't tell the truth and some of it not sting. The truth is going to sting. I'm hard on myself. The truth hurt me. My own truth that I got to tell myself. It's days I got to tell myself, Tony, you're a punk. Tony, you being a chump. Tony, you did. And I talk to myself hard. That's why I am where I am. And that's why I am who I am. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm tough on me. And so I'm going to tell you, my goal as a man, I'm going to be honest with you. My goal as a man is to do what y'all pretended to do. My goal as a man is to make sure that my wife's nervous system is never disrupted by me. I don't want her nervous system to be disrupted by me. I don't want her pH balance to be disrupted by me. I don't want her peace, her structure, her heart, her mind, her life. I don't want nothing to be disrupted by me. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish and pray that the Lord put me in position to where her life could just be soft, just be a woman of God, love the Lord, and just get showered with love. Because it's like, Lord, you told me to love as Christ loved the church. Christ is very, very good to his church. The way you bless me, Lord, I want to be as big of a blessing to my wife. That's what you instructed me to do and be. That's what I'm trying to do and be. And that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. How the mop flops and the cookie crumbles, like my college football coach used to tell us all the time. And so you got to recognize and realize that, and you have to understand that when you meet a man who has the talking points, and yes, I'm doing these videos directional because we 95% women on the channel, but to the men who own the channel and you watching this, one, join the Purpose Pusher community because we got too many women in there. If you single, also get on the Destiny app.com. We got a lot of women on there so you can meet your wife. And then two, you just got to invert the message and don't be the man that I'm talking about unless I'm talking about a man of character and a good man that we supposed to be, then be that man. So just invert the message, but it's too hard to be talking out both sides of my mouth when I'm trying to stay focused and I'm doing long form content. So what you got to realize and understand is that you're going to have to pay attention and make sure that if you meet a man who has the Kevin Samuels talking points, you got to be careful. And yes, there's certain things he said that was true and that made sense. But so I ain't talking about those things. I'm talking about the detrimental things, the things that were condescending, the things that were unfair, the things that were controlling or manipulative or like making women feel like they trash if they got a child or like they gotta have sex with a man. They stupid for being Christian. They stupid and being abstinent like a real Christian. Stuff like that. Like if you hear those kind of talking points, that is a man who also believes in the phraseology of a simp. And nobody knows what a simp is. And to be honest with you, a simp doesn't really exist. I used to have a homeboy in college named Simp. He changed that name, boy. After y'all made Simp a bad thing, the man had to change his name, last name Simpson. And I think it was, or Simmons. And so they used to call him Simp. And his name was Sean Simp. And now he in Atlanta on maybe it's 96.7 The Beat or whatever y'all got. His name Ferrari Simmons now. But his name used to be Simp. We used to call him Simp. But now y'all done messed up the man name. The man had to change his name. And it just one of them things, we got a place we play ball at in Polk County called Simpson Park. And they call it Simp. Y'all done mess up everybody's name now. And here's the thing. Simp short for Simpson. Think OJ Simpson or Simp? That's what a simp is right there, OJ Simpson. If he took that woman and her boyfriend life, that's what a simp is. And so this terminology, this phraseology was created to keep us down and to keep us divided. And that's what we have to break out of. We got to understand. And this is what I want every man watching this to understand. I want you to understand, because we got truck drivers and stuff that watch this stuff and they just be listening to me bump my gums. And even though I be talking to the women, the men still smart enough to get the lesson for them. But this is what I want every man to understand. And this is a analogy that I put in my head. And this is something that I had to do as a man. And it really, this mentality, this mentality really changed my life as a man. And what I had to do, I created this kind of metaphor in my mind that essentially says a man is a warrior And you got to really see yourself as a warrior. And a warrior goes to the front line to protect the women and the children. And when a warrior comes home, he's not coming home to bleed on the women and children. He's not coming home to go to battle against the women and children. He goes to war so that he can protect and so that he can provide, so that he can come home and be compassionate and loving because he knows the power that he has in his hands. He knows his strength. He knows who he is. So his goal isn't to go to war against his own family. His goal is to go out and go to war against the world so that he can protect his family. So when we shift our mindset and we stop focusing on what is a simp and we stop focusing on a woman getting over on us or a woman taking advantage of us, and we look at ourselves and we start to realize and we start to understand we have enough capacity to be in concert with our wife instead of in competition with our wife. We have enough capacity to carry the woman and the child instead of competing with our woman, that we should not be keeping score against someone who is our teammate. And we have to stop treating our teammate like an opponent out to get us. Because if that's the case, you create war within your own home and you're sleeping with the enemy. And you're sleeping with the enemy because you're in competition and you're afraid to be vulnerable. And the definition of vulnerable is to be open for attack. So when you go to war against the world, you're not supposed to be open for attack. But when you are with those you love and you trust and you care for, it's okay to drop your guard because you chose someone who truly loves you if you chose her for the right reasons. And if you have to be on guard, it means you chose the wrong person for the wrong reasons. And the lesson and the price that you have to pay is one that you need as a man to learn. And that's what I need men to understand. And when you shift that mindset and you go into that place, it'll change your life. And you got to get there. So that's where we got to get to. Y'all forgive me, I had paused to post to my Instagram, but I'm back. And that right there, that shift, it's going to do everything for you. And so, and I'm going to try to spell this out for you. Like, and I believe in setting crazy goals because it was Les Brown I heard say, and I don't know if it was his quote or he was quoting somebody, but he says, not that we aim and miss, or it's not that we aim high and miss, is that we aim low and hit. So what does my wife need with X amount of dollars a week? Nothing other than, your normal maintenance. But if she is foregoing corporate America because she wants to be the number one mom and the number one wife, I have to look at what could my wife earn in corporate America with her mind that she's chosen to forego because she feels like a greater calling right now in this season of her life is being a full-time wife and mom. And she has a master's degree in medical sciences, bachelor's in biomedical science, and was on track getting ready to go to med school when she got pregnant with our first son, who was 2.5 months early. And I remember she went to her med school interviews or what have you, and she was getting ready to choose a med school, but we had just had our son and she had to make a decision. And she knew that taking care, she knew it would be impossible to do med school while having a sick child at home and having to wake up every hour and a half to change his feeding tube, to put the new oatmeal in the bag that was feeding him because he was intubated, maybe if you call it that or something, because his stomach wasn't fully developed and he had bad acid reflux. And so she had to put a thing down his nose, and then she had to do something to test it to make sure it wasn't in his lungs. And she would just barely sleep real light because she wanted to make sure if it was in his lung, and when she cut the bag on and the food went to go in there, he would start to drown or something like that, and she coughing or something. And so she really couldn't sleep. And that really drove that postpartum to a whole nother level. And I'm 23 years old. I didn't know what and how to do other than try to help how I could, but nothing I could do was going to be enough because of what a woman is going through in a situation like that. And so she chose to not go to med school and to be there for our son. And I pray one day, maybe if she still want to be a doctor when our youngest is done, that she go back to school. She's saying that she probably just going to travel. If she going to want us to be traveling. And I'm cool with it. But let's say she could have earned $200K, $300K, $400K. Or let's say she would have went, if she wanted to do something, nurse practitioner or whatever, and be able to do the cosmetic side of things. Some of them women making $1 million or more, doing Botox and filler and all of that, regardless of how you feel about it, touch and nose. And so that's what my goal is. It's like, you know what? I want to be able to get to a place, not like Yada now, not handling the money with this hand and socking it with the other hand, but to be able to, hey, here you go from our money. Here's yours that you could steward. Invest it how you want to, spend on what you want to. Like, that's my goal. That's my heart's desire. And I'd have been there and I'm there, but I ain't at the level that I want to be at though. And so, and I just want a life to be soft, because this is what I realized as a man. When you a real man, your woman don't give you no problems. If you chose a good woman, now, if you chose a woman that's sick, when I mean sick, I mean like mentally sick and mentally ill, then yeah, you're gonna have a headache because you chose her for her booty and her beauty and not her brains, not her nervous system, not her command center. You chose her for the aesthetics, you chose her for the look. And that's why you're going through what you're going through, because you chose looking at her the wrong way and you chose for the wrong reasons. But when you choose a woman out of substance, and when you choose a woman out of substance, then that's when you got something totally different. So you want to be a blessing to her. You want to give her everything. You want her to be at ease and at peace. Not barefoot and pregnant, unless she want to be barefoot and pregnant, and not getting socked in the eye for Lord knows what. Y'all got to come back and explain that to us. And like, hold on now, little Yoda. I know you said in your movie there is no try to do or not to do, but why you punch that woman in the eye? What in the world could she have done that deserved you to cold cock that woman like you Ike Tyson? And so I'm that's where I'm trying to get to. Somebody give us a good acronym for SIMP. What that S could stand for. And that I and that M and that P. Because that's what I'm trying to be. If that, like, listen, when you was a terror to a woman, and I be putting air sauce on it now. I ain't have nobody like knock down, drag out, boohoo crying. It just was me. I was out there to where, boom, I put that meat leg on them and they'll never hear from me again. It was like that. But so I don't think it was nothing that a woman never went through or seen. But being a life coach, I get to hear the other side of it. And it do shake a woman up. Cause I do coach women who they be like, he just disappeared. Like everything was great and he just disappeared. And we had sex and now he just gone. He just ghosted me. Like, what's going on? And so that's why I work as hard as I work. And that's why I give the game away. And that's why I try to get men to understand, like, bro, don't talk to me and tell me what to say and what not to say if you never did what I did. If you wouldn't understand it. But now I get to understand it because I get to hear the other side of it. See, when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, and I'm sleeping with these women, meet these women in the club, boom, take them home, knock them off, never talk to them again. Those women probably, the thing about it is, like, a woman is selective with who she give her body to. So a piece of her, when she give her body to somebody, there's a little inkling of hope or like attraction, or it's like, could this be love at first sight? Could this be chemistry that could last forever? Like, it wasn't always just a woman just having fun. It was like, let me throw the kitchen sink at the Negro because I see who I like, and I like he looked better than who I had, or I like this or I like that. Let me throw the whole kitchen sink at him because I know he getting it out here. I know he out here could get it because I'm ready to get it to him. So let me go ahead and get it to him so that I'm on the same level and playing field as these other women. And women say that to me all the time on the coaching call, like, well, Tony, how am I supposed to keep a man if I'm not sleeping with him when other women are so ready and willing to sleep with him? That's just a woman's logic. That's how she thinks. And so when you get a woman in that place, it's like, you don't know where she operating from. You don't know if she operating from a place of hope, a place of delusion, a place of lust, a place of lost. You don't know where she operating from. And you got to realize that the damage that it caused. And so that's what I had to come to terms with. And that's why I work the way I work and do what I do. Y'all forgive me. My mama text me. Let me 1 second. So that's where I'm at with it. And that's why I do what I do now. And this is what I try to tell y'all too. That's also how you pick up. That's also how you pick up if somebody is a scam or not. Like, they have to have a very real reason of why they give away the game to women. What did they do to women, and what wrongs are they trying to right? What's the root of the purpose? What is the purpose? What is the reasoning of you giving away the game as a man? And are you living what you are teaching, or are you still victimizing women? That's what you have to get to the root of. So anytime you want to work with a man or listen to a man who is giving you the game as a woman, always ask him, why do you do what you do? And he need to be transparent about his whole story, his past, everything he did. Like, we know who Apostle Paul was when he was Saul. We know he was a persecutor of the church and why he does what he does as a Christian. We know that. And that's what you need to know. We know Moses murdered a man before God used him. Like, we know David was a killer before God used him. Like, we know the backstory. You got to know the backstory. And this why men have come up with this term of a simp, because so many men are in competition with a woman, and no man, see, the real deep through line is no man wants to be less than another man. So if another man say he want to give his wife this, do this for his wife, do this for his wife, do that for his wife, the next man, if he is not healed and whole, and he's still harboring some hate, some resentment, he disgruntled with women because he's been cheated on, lied to, overlooked, mistreated, he's gonna be like, oh, simp, yo, simp, man, can't stand y'all. Oh, because he want to have a woman under his foot. He want to be able to dog out. He want to be able to cheat in peace. He do not want to compete with another man that's more of a man than him. He don't want his girlfriend or his wife. Like, it's a lot of girlfriends and wives who can't follow me online. And it's because they man is like, it's one thing when she don't need it. It's just like, what you following him for? Like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Like, you don't need to know nothing about no relationship because I'm treating you right, loving you right. No, I get that. But some men, they woman can't follow me online because he don't want to have to compete with the image of what my wife may represent. He don't want to have to compete. And that's what happened with Yoda. He went to having men compete, but he was vocal about it and verbal about it. And then so he telling every single woman. And so what he tried to do, he tried to do social polygamy. He wanted a million, and that's what he had essentially, a million internet wives. So he wanted every man. So you know how they have, he did really what they accused the lady, something Gray, can't remember her name now, but I did a video on when y'all asked me about her. Something Gray and the other lady, Wizard Liz, and all of that. Some of y'all say Brina Lee doing it a little bit. I'm not fully sure, but the decentering men or decentering relationship. That's what Yoda was doing. He wanted to decenter. He wanted all of the women that follow him to decenter men. And he literally would just come out and say, your man is a lame, your man is a bum, your man is stupid, your man is trash. And words have power. So all these women looking at these men, whereas my message is judge a man by his character. So even if he make 20,000 a year, 30,000 a year, 50,000 a year, and women get mad with me. Women get mad with me because I say let a man's character be his currency. And they're like, he got to have a certain amount of money. And I'm telling you, if he has character, he eventually gonna have any amount of money he want to have. But if he don't have character, it don't matter how much money he has, he gonna lose it all, just like Yoda, because he gonna punch you in your eye. And then you got to call the police. Then he got to go to prison. Nah, all of the money he had is gone. But if you would have got a man with character, he would have been on the climb, on the come up, on the up and up. And even if it take years, he's steady climbing every year to where in the golden years of your life, in the best years of your life, he got a bag. And because you loved him and you respected him, and women be like, oh, they'll do all that, then leave you. Yeah, because you were snarking at them. You were calling them a bomb. You were comparing them to other men. You were doing this, you were doing that. Now you got to play your part in it. And if you weren't doing none of that, then what did you overlook? What red flags you overlook? What you weren't paying attention to? Y'all give me a little second on this one mama talking about. So that's what you got to realize. And these situations it'll continue to happen, and it'll continue to be competition, and you're gonna see, and just like what Yada was doing, he took and decentered men. And so now all of these women that follow him on Instagram, they in a spiritual marriage with him. And they lusting after him. They're lusting. And just like the Bible tells us as men not to covet our neighbor's wife, the same goes for coveting your neighbor's husband. So a lot of women was sitting there probably lusting after him and like, hey, I want a husband like this. I want a husband like that. And that's why I do my best to kind of to level myself out in women's eyes. And that's why I tell my past, so that it brings me down off a notch. Because if I don't tell my past, and if I don't put no extra sauce on it, and say and tell you that I was a dog, and I was a player, a liar, a manipulator, a user, then you can easily fantasize in your mind about who I am or who I was. And then you can pedestalize me, and then you can falsely compare me to the man you dealing with. And you are comparing his behind the scenes to my highlight reel, because all you know about me is highlights. And that's what grifters. So really it ain't even about simps. It's about grifters. That's what grifters do. They show you just the highlights. And see, that's why people who don't have the mental capacity and the brain width, not just the bandwidth, they don't have the brain width to listen to these messages. That's why I make my messages long, because it's about getting out of the shallow and getting into the deep waters, to where you got to know how to swim. That's why I take you into the deep, so that you know how to swim, so that when you meet somebody that's shallow, you know off rip they shallow, and you can handle that. And so you know how to deal with that. You know how to pivot. And that's what I want you to realize and understand. And these guys, they'll take and just show you the highlight reel. They ride in like a knight in shining armor, so that all you see is that highlight reel. And now you comparing every single man, you measuring him up to this. And so, and then this what happens. And I'm gonna warn you about this other side of it now. I'll be right back. Now, on this other side of it, what happens is you take and you will start to say, and this why these men hate what they call a simp. Because you'll start to say, oh, well, Yoda a little behind giving all this money. If a man got money, I don't mind him being little. Like, I look at the top of his dome like Divine Queen was, if he finna put 30K in my hand at a time. Shoot, I'm staring all at the crown of his head. And so now you go get your short king. So now you get your short king because he got him a good job. Let's say he make 200 a year, 200,000. Wow. a year, and he do that. He does software, IT, or something like that. And so you looking at him and you like, okay, he made this 200,000. Wow, I'm gonna give him a chance. Guess what though? He knows you would have never gave him a chance as a short king if he didn't make what he made. So he comes into the situation with resentment, and you trying to play him because he got money, so you want to give him a chance. But the thing is, you don't realize men learn from data, and men have reference points. We all do as humans. So he remembers not too long ago, every woman that looked like you or built like you or taught like you or employed at the level you employed overlooked him while he didn't have the money. When he didn't have the money, he was overlooked. But now that he has the money as a doctor or a lawyer or a six-figure earner, software tech, in whatever it is, business owner, he could be doing HVAC, with this the ACs and stuff, or he could be doing plumbing or roofing or construction, but he makes six figures. And so now all of a sudden he look good to you. Now he look good to you. Now he worthy of a chance. And that's how y'all get played, because you don't want a man with character. You just want a man with currency. So when he get that currency and now you give him a chance, it disrupts his character, because he like, oh, she trying to use me. She a scam artist. She don't even want me. Her type never gave me a chance. And guess what? You got to bite the bullet, even if you being honest. You might be just giving him a chance. You went on the destinyapp.com. You met him. You like, if he on Tony app, he might be a decent guy. I'm going to give him a chance. Well, that was your first mistake, thinking that him being on the app is me snapping him. But I don't know him from a can of paint. The man on the moon. And so you give him a chance, and it could be completely honest. You just gave him a chance just because you trying not to discriminate. You trying to change your list. You trying not to be so boxed in to where every man got to be 6 foot or taller. Like, you trying to break free of all that stuff, all that rigmarole, because you know it ain't common sense. You know it ain't rooted in nothing good. And so you take and you try to change that right there. So you try to make that change. And the next thing you know, it's like you take and voila, you give him a chance, but he still is disgruntled, because he looking at it like, man, she doing me wrong. Like, she finna try to take advantage of me. She finna try to get over. She gonna try to get over because she round here trying to play me, because her type don't even like me. And I'm gonna tell you something now. Now, some of y'all was telling me that Joey Bad A X was beautiful, but it's like, was he still the same person? So it don't count if he was a celebrity. And I doubt y'all would know him and what she looked like if he wasn't a celebrity. So it's all the same thing. It doesn't mean that Soraya isn't still the most beautiful woman he done been with, or isn't still very beautiful in his eyes, if his last woman was beautiful, but he was that guy, whether he was a top dope boy or whether he was a rapper in the making, trying to come up, or whatever it was, it don't really matter. So it's one of those things to where if a man knows that your type did not want him at one point, because you gotta ask yourself, what is so attractive about him that a woman would want him, that the most beautiful girl in the school would want him in middle school or high school? If it's not something external, like being the dope boy, being the star athlete. Just ain't gonna be off of looks. She not gonna look at him and just be like, "Oh, he is so fine." She's not finna be like, "Okay, it's a normal black guy. Like, okay, handsome guy, decent looking guy. Like, ain't dropping draws, but now let the man have some money." And then somebody talking about Soraya got pregnant by Joey because she know her baby gonna be set for life. That's not how music industry works. Joey not set for life. Joey not set for life. It's not Jay-Z. Let's get that correct. It's just really be showing me how people don't know nothing about money and how money work. All of broke. Jay-Z probably taking out loan right now. Yeah. I used to have to tell my wife and my homeboy that all the time. Like, y'all do not know how money work because y'all just look at somebody and you just assume just because you see this, just because you see that, they just rolling in the dough. No, that could have been yesteryear's money. That don't mean it's this year's money. That don't. And it's like once you build, like for me, I could collateralize. If I'm not making no money, I can leverage an asset. I can do a different type of deal. Like I could collateralize to where if I ain't got no cash flow, I could leverage. I could leverage my business, leverage my YouTube, leverage this, leverage that. I could do different things to still have income. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like you could sell your name for a long time now, but it don't mean you're gonna still be at the income level you once was at. But you could have something coming in. And so, and to be honest with you, a lot of times women realize that. And they be like, what am I staying for? It's no benefit. I'm being cheated on and he broke or going broke. I'll never forget. I talked to a woman. She got into it with the man, domestic violence situation. He at one point was making many millions. And I never forget. She came out of her mouth. She said, Tony, he only has $1 million left. And I now see me, I'm listening, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, do you know how much money that is, child? What you mean he only got $1 million in his checking account? At this time, I probably got $2.47 in my checking account as a life coach. And I'm like, child, you crazy. But guess what? That same man, after she left him in the name of domestic violence. To the world, she left him for domestic violence. I knew she left him because he was going broke in her mind. Guess what? Not long after that, some years later, that man signed multi-million dollar deal. Was back up. He back up right now. He up. And she down. And I know she feels so sick. And she went to another man who was up and had a baby by him. And now that man is down. $0 coming in. You see what I'm saying? That's what happened to gold diggers, men and women. And so men know this. Men know this. You never playing a man. So she had a baby by the man that was up, but he knew he was going to be down before that baby turned 18. He knew he was going to be down. He knew his money wasn't going to always be like that. He knew his money was going to go down and he's not going to have to pay a whole bunch every month. So he knocked her up so he could say he knocked her up because she was the baddest he done ever had. So he get the clout and the credit from all of the boys because everybody wanted to hit her. And so now you get that clout and the credit, but he know in the end, she going to get the short end of the stick because the court ain't going to make him pay what he ain't got, what he can't afford. And so that's what you got to realize and understand. So the reason why this whole SIMP word exists is because of men's resentment for women. And so, because men have chosen with their little head, the head that is covered in their pants, and they've been burned, the head has gotten burned, they now resent women, and it angers them when they see a man who doesn't resent women. So they created the term simping and simp. And so, to make themselves feel better about their hate and disdain towards women, but you can't express that hate and disdain towards a woman. You can't come out and say, hey, I don't like women. You can't come out and say that. So what happens? You gotta come out and attack the man and say, hey, punk, you a simp. Tired of y'all simps because you tired of us who don't hate women, who don't have any disdain or disgruntledness towards women. You tired of us making an effort to treat our woman the way she deserves to be treated. And because you tired of that and you tired of us doing that, you put a name on us. So now we a simp. Put that name on us. Oh, there go this lady come talking about this lady who sold that Angel Murdoch.
Trainer. Now, many are questioning if she actually even was. If you somehow haven't seen this yet,
so they were talking about the young lady who faked to be a PA. Say she also had an Airbnb course on how to do Airbnb, and she said she was a certified NASM personal trainer, and say she was a real estate agent. Was also a real estate agent at one point. So the sister old as Methuselah, cause boy, she done lived 9 lives like old cat out here. Like my goodness, like she done reinvented herself more than me. I thought I was bad. I'm out here doing. I'm like my goodness. I thought I so enough was bad, but this what it is. So hey, want y'all to get that, understand that, get that through your spirit, and really try to process what this gonna take to understand and be at a place to where you can take and not let these terms out here and this disgruntledness not let that affect you. And if you meet a man who is a simp, but meaning based on what they calling a simp, don't take advantage of them. Don't get complacent. Don't go to snapping outside your neck. Don't use that man, taking advantage of that man, because he will know and he will burn you. You will end up with the short end of the stick. So if you get a man that's got a provider mentality, be grateful, be thankful, love him down, treat him like an absolute king, and make sure, like I take care of my wife to the best of my ability. Man, I woke up this morning, breakfast, water bottle full, got my iced coffee in a Yeti, got my lunch made. I hadn't even ate my lunch from yesterday. Got my another lunch. I'm about to eat that after this here video. Oh, and she do that every day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Taking care of me. Instead of making me spend more money to eat out. We still eat out sometimes, but she take care of me and she lace me up. I got to make 2-3 trips to the car sometimes. She had me leaving out the house with so much stuff. But it's like I'm doing my part, she doing her part. And that's why a lot of men don't believe in a man doing for a woman like that, because so many women have taken advantage of the man and started spitting in his face, talking down to him, treating him like crap, and taking his kindness for weakness because she's too ignorant to understand that a man's strength is his gentleness and his kindness. So, hey, it's Tony Gaskin. Make sure you get in the Purpose Pushers community. We talking about the love and relationships here on YouTube, but in the Purpose Pushers community, we tapping into purpose. So if you haven't tapped in your purpose yet, or if you're in your purpose and you just need community and support around you, make sure you click the link in the description. Join us. Got a free 7-day trial. Just budget it into your life. See it as your coaching program, and go ahead, take your life to the next level. Tap into your purpose. Start living out the reason you are here. Tony Gaskins here. God bless you, and we'll talk soon.